Hi, I'm Hilda. Welcome to my kitchen. Today we're going to make turkey cutlets. And for those of you that find that just a little too complicated, you don't want to do the flattening or pounding of the turkey, then we're going to also make some nuggets. Easy peasy. I just want to show you how you could use a standard breading station to do anything like this. You can use it for turkey, for fish, for chicken, for pork, whatever you prefer, you can use this method. Today we're going to use Italian seasonings. You can choose whatever seasonings you prefer. If you want a different vibe or international flavor, feel free to go ahead and modify this as you like. However, it's a basic premise that you use 3 stations. First, we're going to do a couple of eggs in one. You're just going to beat these. And you want a wide vessel so that you can easily bread and get your components in there. I'm going to use a little bit of all-purpose flour. And you want to season along every step of the way. So I'm going to use a little salt, a little pepper, or a little pepper, a little salt, in that order. And and some breadcrumbs. These are just store-bought breadcrumbs. They happen to be Italian style, because that's what I could get. So you're going to put in an amount that I'd say that's about 2 cups. You can also use panko breadcrumbs if you have those. Today I'm going to just use the regular style breadcrumbs. I'm going to use some grated Parmigiano Reggiano to my breadcrumbs to season it even further. This is maybe a half a cup. It's very finely ground. I'm also going to use about a teaspoon of ground oregano and maybe a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. I'm also going to use half a teaspoon of garlic. I'm going to add some garlic to the ground garlic to the flour as well. And the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little fresh basil, basilico. I'm going to add a little bit of again, salt and pepper at all stages. I grew up in a Slovak household, so there was always a schnitzel in our house. My mother would bread anything. You just want some flavoring along all the steps of the way, and that's pretty nice. I'm just going to take 2 slices of wax paper. I happen to be using turkey tenderloin, which were available in my grocery store, and I thought, okay, oh, there's a little piece here. And where there is meat, there is Luna. Did you want this? Yes, she does. Okay, so I'm going to take this turkey tenderloin, and I'm just going to slice it down the middle, almost all the way, but not quite. So you just open it up. And then I'm going to pound it. I already did one ahead of time. Gently, because it's a delicate piece of meat. Fold it over.
You could talk about that mallet
This, you can use a wine bottle, you can use whatever you have if you don't have a mallet. However, this mallet was made in what grade?
Grade 10.
Grade 10. Machine shop?
Machine shop.
Machine shop by my husband.
Yeah, they can still have my initials on it.
It does?
PC.
Oh, it does. PC, I never knew that. So you're gonna pound it thin, and typically you want it just so that it's an even piece of meat. If this is too large for you, you can also cut it in half and make 2 slices, but I like the idea of the wax paper because it keeps it clean. And again, whoops, making a noise. Get all your frustrations out. And it's pretty simple. You're not really trying to make, you can make it as thin as you like, but the goal is really just to make it so that it is even. So there's my 2 cutlets. I've also taken one of the tenderloins, and I'm just going to cut it into small nugget-sized pieces. All right, so I'm just trying to make them equal pieces. And there's a few nuggets. And there's a little piece that I'm going to share with my friend. Ta-da! Of course you can use tongs or something civilized, but you know, I'm going to use my hands. So I'm going to put it into the flour. Typical breading is flour, eggs, and breadcrumbs. And what normal people do is you have one hand for the dry, one hand that's going to grow giant fingers for the wet. There you go. And my little nuggets. You can just toss those in all together. And this is just all-purpose flour, easy to get. You can use rice flour, you can use whatever flour you like. It's really just essentially drying the meat, and so that the toppings can stick to them. Ah! Again, why would you use tongs? Come on, how long would this take if we did it that way? Get dirty, it's fun. Okay. So I'm just throwing them in. That's probably enough at one time. And I told you, alien fingers. Alien fingers. That's a big one. Yes, Czechoslovakia, or the former Czechoslovakia, my parents are Slovak, is right near the Austrian border. And so the food I grew up with was, you know, roasted pork loins and roast pork with dumplings and sauerkraut and very typically Austrian or German cuisine, which is, you know, where the schnitzel comes in, and that's why we grew up with calling it schnitzel. Okay, so I'm now gonna clean my hands, and we're gonna come back and we're gonna fry these in olive oil. That's right, you can fry in olive oil, people. Do not be afraid. If you have good quality olive oil, you can certainly fry in olive oil. It's not true that it has such a low smoke point that you have to use canola or corn or whatever. You can, it's up to you. I know it's a more expensive oil, but it is awesome, and it's a great ingredient. Think of that as part of the flavoring. Let me wash my hands and we'll come right back. We are going to fry our turkey schnitzel and our nuggets in olive oil. And I know a lot of people say you can't fry in olive oil. That is simply a myth and not true. I am using today a Koroniki, which is a Greek varietal from a producer in California called Wild Groves. Dewey Lucero and his family make some great extra virgin olive oils, and I'm going to do a tasting after this video to let you experience some of the variety of oils that they have. The better the quality of the oil, the more you can fry with it. So it's a hot enough temperature. I am going to put these two side by side. I cut the one tenderloin in half so that it would both fit into the pan. So you want the temperature of the oil to be hot enough. Typically, I'm not deep frying here. However, I am shallow frying, and I've used maybe a cup, a little bit more than a cup of oil. The oil actually is an ingredient because it's a great quality and imparts a delicious flavor to it. So you can also partially cook these by frying them and then heat them up later in the oven, which is a great way if you're preparing for a dinner and you want to pre-make them. There you go. Okay, so if you look at the oil after frying, pan frying, there is some residue at the bottom of the pan. So zoom in here and see. So that's just breadcrumbs and cheese, whatever's left over. But you can see it's not burnt. And the oil did not smoke. It did not have any, nasty aroma or anything. So it is, like I said, not a problem to pan fry with extra virgin olive oil. In fact, the better the quality of the oil, the higher the smoke point. So there you go. Okay, so here is my final schnitzel. You can serve it with a nice squeeze of lemon. And these nuggets are cooked in the exact same way, just didn't have to pound them. And I'm gonna make a simple sauce. I'm going to add a bit of mustard. I didn't have a spoon. I'm just gonna use Dijon mustard and some good quality honey. This is Roland's honey from Waxahachie, Texas. I'm just doing both equal portions of honey and mustard. And a quick stir. There's your turkey nugget sauce. Okay. So this would accompany the nuggets. If you have kids, there's your nuggets. I'm going to have a little taste. They're great. They're really great. They're really great. They're seasoned. Good spices. This one, a little bit of honey. I've put a lemon on it. You gotta make this. This is so good. Like, why would you buy that stuff in the package? Cook it. You know you want to make this. Some great honey that we use. It's Roland's honey from Waxahachie, Texas. And Scott Roland, thank you very much for producing a great honey that I use in all kinds of things. I also recommend, like olive oil, that you know who your producer is and buy from a reputable source. Thank you very much. If you like what we do, please subscribe and like the channel, and see you next time in Hildy's Kitchen. They look pretty good.